Hello and welcome to the Wets Bets show, powered by Her Hoop Stats, the show where we literally bet on women. I'm Calvin, that's Dano. We are coming to you on the day of the very first tournament games. First four starts tonight, 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow. We do have lines for those games now. Took a little while, a little frustrating how men's lines come out right away. Had to wait a little bit on these, but neither here nor there. We got lines for the first four, so we each got a pick for you. Dano, who are you going with?
My pick, I was super excited when I first saw it. It was yesterday morning. I got Longwood against Mount St. Mary's at -1.5. My model has them as a 9-point favorite. I love the way they play. Akila Smith is dominant, like in every game, double-double machine. Mount St. Mary's, no way they can keep up with them. It's a 4.5 now on FanDuel, 5 on Caesars. I will probably put a little more on it, not as much as I did with the 1.5, but love the play.
Yeah, so you mentioned your model has it at 9. You got it at 1.5, obviously. For people watching, where would you play it up to? Where would you stop on this one?
I think to feel safe, I would go 6.5, maybe 7. I know like most sites for women's games keep it on the 0.5s, but I know Caesars has it at 5 right now. To me, I think there should be no issue covering that. Maybe a backdoor cover would take you off of like a 8, but I think up to 7.5, I'd feel comfortable laying a unit.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before in this show. Those lower spreads, that are within maybe a couple possessions, you can cover those on free throws. Especially when you get to this time of year, we also talked about how these teams who are trailing by a little bit, they love to extend the game and foul even more than they did in the regular season. So when your season's on the line, you don't want to go home. You don't want the game to end. So definitely could see some fouls at the end as well. I've enjoyed betting on Longwood all year. They've cashed a lot, so I love that one. I am also going with Missouri State -1.5. It's actually -4.5 on FanDuel, -1.5 on Caesars and DraftKings. Not sure how they're that different, but they are. So if you can get DraftKings and Caesars, go get -1.5. I actually would probably still take -4.5 on FanDuel. I think that's probably about my limit. I would start to cut it off after that. Maybe a little bit of a smaller bet at 4.5, but 1.5 is a great bet. We almost never see 1-point games in college basketball, so it's barely more than really just winning the game. You're essentially saying they just need to win the game. Missouri State, they lost a couple starters in November and December for the year. It took a while to figure things out, but I do think they're definitely a better team than Florida State, who had an argument to maybe not even be in the tournament. And Abby Jackson's really stepped up for them. Seen them play, obviously, in person this year, being in Missouri Valley country. So I'm definitely loving Missouri State -1.5.
Yeah, I do like that. When I first saw the line, it was at 3.5. For some reason, that game didn't show up for me. But yeah, now that I know it's on DraftKings and Caesar at -1.5, I'm definitely going to follow those instructions from you.
Awesome. Love to hear it. So if you want it, the rest of our picks, Aaron Barzilai, our founder, and myself both have a full bracket up on CBS Sportsline. Go check that out for all of our picks, first round all the way through the Final Four in the championship. And I'll be joining CBS Sportsline, their show Early Edge, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning to get you set for the betting action on those days as well. So look out for that. And enjoy the best weekend on the sports calendar. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. We'll post a link to the show on YouTube for this weekend.